Ever been abandoned by the people who should love you most? I'm Quinn Harper, 25, from Tucson, Arizona. When I was 16, my parents ditched me for a new life in Florida with their new partners, leaving me to fend for myself. They poured their love into my half-sister Lila, their fresh start, while I was left in the dust. Lila was their new darling, the one they spoiled at every chance. Me? They told me, Quinn, you're on your own. Lila's our future. I didn't resent Lila. She was just a kid caught in their mess. But my parents' betrayal stung. When I showed them my short films at 15, Mom laughed. Movies? You're not Lila's level. Dad added, grow up. Their words hurt, but they lit a fire, not to hate them, but to get even with a success they couldn't ignore. This story's got drama, a slick prank, and a moment that'll make you cheer. Ready to see how I turn the tables? Smash that like button, subscribe, and let's dive in. Our Tucson home was a sun-baked ranch-style house with a cactus garden where the desert heat shimmered. But for me, it became a place of abandonment. My parents, both real estate agents, were once a team, but their divorce at my age 14 tore everything apart. Mom moved to Florida with her new boyfriend, Greg, and Dad followed suit with his girlfriend, Sarah. They started new lives, had Lila, their do-over daughter, and left me behind like an old script. Lila, now 8, was their focus, cute, with pigtails and a knack for winning their hearts. Mom would say, Lila's our second chance. Dad kept a photo wall of her dance recitals and birthday parties. I was different. At 12, I found an old camcorder in the attic and started making short films, gritty stories about resilience. By 15, I was editing on free software, dreaming of Hollywood. But when I showed Mom my first film, she sighed. That's sweet, Quinn, but Lila's got a recital. That's what matters. Dad was harsher. Filmmaking's a fantasy. You're on your own. Their neglect wasn't subtle. When I got a B in English, Dad said, Lila's already reading above her grade. When I joined the film club, Mom suggested, why not babysit Lila? At 15, I entered a local film contest with a short, Desert Heart, about a girl finding strength. I won first place and a $500 prize featured in the Arizona Daily Star. I emailed them the article, hoping they'd care. Mom replied, nice, Quinn, but Lila's in a talent show. That's our priority. Dad didn't respond. They framed Lila's dance certificates but ignored my win. The worst came at 16. After the divorce, they sold our house, and neither wanted custody. Mom said, Quinn, you're old enough to handle yourself. We're starting fresh with Lila. Dad added, we can't drag you into our new life. They left me with my Aunt Claire in Tucson and moved to Florida. I was accepted to a summer filmmaking program at ASU with a partial scholarship. I called them heart-pounding, begging for support. Dad laughed. You'll fail, Quinn. Lila's our focus. Mom said, don't call us for handouts. My chest tightened. They'd bought Lila a new bike, but wouldn't help me. I cried to Aunt Claire, who hugged me. You're enough. That night, I scrolled Reddit's r/raised by narcissists, reading stories of kids abandoned by parents. One post hit hard. They chose someone else? Make them wish they hadn't. I opened my laptop, whispering, I'll get even. Lila's 8th birthday party was the final straw. My parents flew to Tucson for it, hosting a poolside bash with a Princess Lila banner. I wasn't invited but saw photos on Mom's Instagram. No one mentioned my film contest or ASU. Watching from Claire's porch, I vowed, I'd make them regret choosing their new life over me. But it wasn't easy. At 17, I worked part-time at a video store, rewind rentals, to buy a better camera. I'd edit films during breaks, crafting stories of triumph. My YouTube channel, at Quinn Films, grew to 5,000 subscribers, but every view felt like a secret my parents didn't care about. They sent Lila to dance camp but never called me. Claire was my rock, saying, "Quinn, your films are magic. Keep going." My breaking point came at 18. I'd saved $3,000 from Rewind and YouTube ads to fund a new short film. I'd also been offered a spot in a regional film festival in Phoenix, a big deal for young directors. I emailed my parents, hoping they'd show up. "I'm screening my film. Please come." Dad replied, "Quinn, we're busy with Lila's school play. You're on your own." Mom didn't respond. I felt gutted. That night, I moved into a shared apartment near ASU with Claire's help, applied for student loans, and packed my camera. I was done begging for their love. Reddit's R filmmakers became my lifeline. Posts about grinding in film gave me hope. One comment stuck. "They gave up on you? Get even with success." I taped it to my camera, vowing to make my films a name they couldn't ignore. At 18, I moved into a cramped Tempe apartment with two roommates, both ASU film students like me. By day, I studied directing at ASU, learning cinematography and storytelling. By night, I worked at Rewind Rentals, shelving DVDs and saving every penny. My YouTube channel, at Quinn Films, became my platform. I posted shorts and vlogs about filmmaking, hitting 10,000 subscribers. Every frame, every cut was a step toward getting even. My parents never called. When I saw their Instagram, it was all Lila, our star at Dance Nationals. I'd mute their posts, hiding my hurt, and share nothing about my films. My short, Desert Heart, won local awards, earning $2,000 in festival prizes. I directed music videos for Tucson bands, making $1,500 a month. But the grind was brutal. My camera lens broke, rent was late, and I lived on instant coffee to afford Final Cut Pro. At 20, a break came. A regional film festival, Desert Screen in Phoenix, invited me to screen a new short, Echoes of Dust, about a teen rebuilding after loss. The winner got $20,000 and a pitch meeting with LA producers. I spent weeks shooting in the desert, pouring my pain into the story. To save money, I carpooled to Phoenix, my gear in the trunk. My parents didn't know. They'd stopped caring about my silly movies. Desert Screen was a filmmaker's dream. Red carpets, indie screenings, and thousands of fans. I premiered Echoes of Dust, voice shaking. This is for anyone left behind. The crowd gave a standing ovation. When I won first place, I nearly dropped my award. The $20,000 let me upgrade my gear, and a producer, impressed, offered a meeting in LA. My Instagram, linked to my channel, hit 50,000 followers with messages. "Your films give me hope." But doubt lingered. Every step felt shaky, like my parents' words. "You're on your own," could unravel it. For a laugh, I pulled a prank on my parents. Leela followed my Instagram, so I knew they'd see my posts through her. I shared a fake video of a terrible film shoot, captioned, "Rough day. Maybe filmmaking's not for me." Mom texted instantly, "Quinn, we told you you'd fail. Focus on Lila's future." I smirked, planning to reveal my success later. Lila texted, curious, "Sis, are you okay?" I sent a winking emoji, keeping her out of it. The real test came at 24. The LA producer invited me to a national film summit in Austin, where I'd pitch a feature film, Sunlit Scars, to studios like a 24 and Lionsgate. A deal could make me a household name, but the pressure was intense. Competitors had agents and big budgets. My parents' voices echoed, "You'll fail." I sent them invites to the summit with a cryptic note, "Join me in Austin June 12th." I wanted them to see their reject get even. I threw myself into prep. My team, two ASU friends, a cinematographer, and an editor, helped craft Sunlit Scars, a drama about a girl reclaiming her story. We rented a studio, maxing out my savings. Challenges hit hard. A location fell through, forcing a rewrite. I got hate online. Her films are overhyped. One night, I found a Reddit post on our filmmakers. How do you handle abandonment? A reply stuck. Don't dwell. Get even with greatness. I taped it to my laptop, pushing forward. My team rallied, and we nailed Sunlit Scars. I stood on our set, clapperboard in hand, whispering, "This is my revenge." The Austin Film Summit was a Hollywood fever dream. Glitzy stages, flashing lights, and execs in designer suits. My booth was vibrant, with Sunlit Scars trailers looping and posters of desert sunsets. I wore a black blazer and boots, clapperboard necklace gleaming, nerves buzzing. My team hustled beside me, handing out pitch decks. My parents and Lila arrived, looking lost in the festival crowd. Mom clutched her purse. Dad frowned at the indie posters, and Lila, now 9, held a stuffed unicorn, confused. They hadn't connected my invite to this. I took a deep breath and stepped to the main stage for my pitch, the crowd swelling to thousands. "Hey everyone," I said, voice steady despite my racing heart. "I'm Quinn Harper, and Sunlit Scars is my story. It started in Tucson, born from being left behind by my parents for their new life. Today, it's a feature film with 200,000 YouTube fans and 1 million Instagram followers. I clicked to a trailer, sweeping desert shots, raw dialogue, a girl rising from pain. The crowd leaned in. I shared stats. $500,000 in crowdfunding, features in Variety, and my vision. My films will give voice to the forgotten. Then I got personal. My parents chose their new life over me, betting on my sister. But this is how I got even, not with anger, but with art. I glanced at my family. Mom's eyes were wet. Dad's jaw dropped. Lila's face curious, clutching her unicorn. The trailer ended with a fan's quote, "Quinn's films make me feel seen. She's a visionary." The room erupted in a standing ovation. The judges announced, for storytelling and impact, the winner is Quinn Harper. I won a $10 million A24 production deal. Cameras flashed as I accepted the award, tears streaming. Off stage, my family approached, faces raw. Mom hugged me, sobbing. "Quinn, we were so wrong. We didn't see your heart." Dad, voice hoarse, said, "We thought we were starting over, but we lost you. I'm sorry." Lila, shy, handed me a drawing of a camera. "I watched your YouTube, Quinn," she said, eyes wide. "You're cool." I laughed, hugging her, my prank forgotten. The twist hit me later. Their abandonment wasn't malice. They were lost in their own chaos, thinking a new life would fix them. But it fueled me to get even, not with spite, but with success. My films weren't just hits. They were proof I was enough. Today, Sunlit Scars is in production with A24, and I'm directing my next film with 1 million Instagram followers. My parents visit my sets, and Lila's my biggest fan, sketching storyboards for me. But the real win? Knowing I turned abandonment into triumph, getting even with my success. If your family chose someone else, hear this. Your story is yours to write. Film, create, fight, make them see what they lost. You're not alone. You're unstoppable. Thanks for watching my story. If it moved you, smash that like button and subscribe. Comment, who chose someone over you and how'd you get even? I'm reading every one. Share this with someone chasing a dream and hit that bell for more. Let's keep telling our stories.